Honestly, I do not know how it happens, but for some reason adventures sometimes find me even in my own apartment. It was a frosty winter night. As usual, I was drawing super intelligent cartoons when I suddenly noticed that something was wrong with my cat. She stood still and stared fixedly at one point. At first I thought she had caught some kind of cat flashback. But then I realized she was looking down the hallway. But there was no one in the corridor. Then I caught some strange sound. At first I thought the sound was coming from the kitchen, but I didn't find anything in the kitchen either. The sound stopped. Well. Okay, I thought. Probably, it's just the wind of the minx pulling the corrugation from the hood, and returned to his studies. But then I noticed that the cat had not moved for a long time and was looking at exactly one point in the corridor. I felt kind of uneasy because I heard that cats can see ghosts. Standing in the corridor, I began to listen and look around. There was a faint sound coming from somewhere again, so I started looking where the cat had been looking all this time. Yes, you got it right. Someone has been trying to open my door all this time. Without knocking, without pressing the bell, just trying to open the door by the handle. At 4:00 in the morning. I quietly went to the door and looked through the peephole, but I saw only pitch darkness there. It made me even more tense. I asked loudly, "Who is there?" There was just deathly silence outside the door. The pen stopped moving for a moment, and then started moving faster. I immediately remembered all sorts of zombie horror movies where fucking dead people are trying to open a closed door. Then I say it again, in a threatening tone. "So who told you who was there?" They didn't answer me again. And here I am standing at 4:00 in the morning with a cat and we have a dilemma, to open the door or not. I started trying to think intelligently. If it had been neighbors, they would have rung the doorbell. If it had been robbers, they would have just broken down the door. There are only two options. It's either a zombie or a ghost. Well, at the very least some Wendigo. For 20 minutes I thought about what I should do. To be honest, it was scary. But then, I gathered my will into a fist and said to myself, "So, pull yourself together, Rag, you're a healthy man. Now I'll just go and open this door. Boldly and decisively. But first, just in case, I'll take an axe." Yes, definitely. Very slowly, in my underpants and with an axe, I began to make my way to the door. Putting aside a dozen bricks and looking at the cat, exhaling, I abruptly opened the door. Great, broth. Well, it's certainly not a zombie, but this grandfather was so scary and drunk, or rather terribly drunk, and even with crooked teeth, that he would have passed for him. Seeing the light, this grandfather, like a moth, went to my apartment. "What do you want?" In response, I heard something indistinct and the name Nina. When I saw that this grandfather was standing in the entrance in socks, and it was -25 on the street, I connected deduction and realized that he could not come from the street without shoes. Considering that I lived on the top floor to get down from the attic, he didn't look like Carlson. It turns out he lived somewhere below. "A man, you probably are lower." Hearing this, the grandfather, making random grunts, began to go down. I mean, you understand, right? If I suddenly accidentally forgot to close the door, and this sometimes happened, he could just come to my house and go to bed. Maybe even with me. Imagine having a nightmare as you run away from a zombie grandfather. Phew, it's just a dream. And by the way, this was not the only case. Somehow, almost one-on-one, they were breaking into my door again, only now they were already trying to open the door with a key, although this time in broad daylight and a friend was with me. When I opened the door, I saw a drunk man again, but this time a different one.
The door doesn't open.
Maybe because she's mine. What do you need?
Guys, help me open the door.
Well, where's your door?
Here.
Okay, come on. I started to open the poor guy's door, when suddenly he says to me,
"Yes, I didn't open it, but what are you driving or something?" That's it.
When I finally opened the door for him, he said,
"Mersher."
And literally flew in there, falling somewhere in the bowels of the apartment, without even closing the door behind him. That's it. So always check if you have closed the door behind you, in order to avoid incidents and troubles, otherwise you will wake up someone's grandfather. Write in the comments, would you open the door in my place or not? I'm very interested. And of course, subscribe to the channel, put likes and ring the bell. And don't forget to subscribe to Telegram and Instagram. Thank you all for watching and see you soon.